Hi guys, I'm back again for the weekly oracle reading. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm Anne, and each week I give a general love reading focusing on divine partners, and that includes all soulmates, twin flames, karmic connection, all love relationships that you're connected to basically. So I invite you to stay tuned and watch. I'm sure there's a message here since you landed on this video. Okay, so now we're getting into the really like deep end of the season, with the energy is just starting to flow as we come into 2020. I mean, it's exciting. I still feel it, but there's also a lot of energy shifts that's been happening throughout this last few, I would say last week. It's been getting like more intense. So many of you may be feeling it, and if not, it's good because it's not a bad thing. But I know that I've been feeling it, and energy shifts are not negative, but it's just like kind of like when you're in a car and like the clutch, like you're shifting gears kind of like thing, and you just feel that little bit of an impact coming in, and like that's the best way I can describe it. So this is a time for taking more time out for yourselves, not putting too much work into how do I get out of it? How do I get out of it? I'm feeling something. I'm feeling anxious, or I'm feeling like something's about to happen. That's okay, because there's plenty of time. And I hope you guys are keeping up with your plans and your resolutions, because I know a lot of people, this is the time that not all of us slack off, but we tend to kind of like go a little lighter on what we planned on originally from the beginning of the year, which is fine. You know what? Hey, as long as you're aware of it and you're saying, you know what, I'm going to continue, keep that momentum going. Whatever you do, keep that energy going, because that's what's going to keep you throughout the whole year. You remember, it's all in layers. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect, because nobody is perfect. I know I'm not perfect. I fail on all of my New Year's resolutions, and the tension you put out there. I mean, yeah, we come into 2020 and say it's a new decade. I have to start the new decade to be perfect, and then you know what? That's setting yourself up for, I'm going to end up failing and I'm just going to quit altogether. So don't do that to yourself. Don't do it. Okay. So I've put out the cards. We have divine masculine and divine feminine. I like to talk more about divine masculine at the beginning and then divine feminine towards the end. It's not, there's no preference, not that one is better than the other. And it's not because it pertains to someone else. But, I try to like get a little bit of more of a generality of the situation with everyone, because everybody's situation obviously is different, and I can't go into an individual reading for the collective. Okay, so divine masculine right now is because 2020 is about divine masculine. So we see a lot of strength, putting strength and power into what they want and what they need and what they're aiming for, because that's what getting past all of these challenges is about. As you can see, this card is very beautiful. It's one of my favorite decks of vintage wisdom. And you know what? I love, because it's just got so much life to it that it tells me like the story of it. Like there's something more beyond it. There's something more behind it with the strength that you're putting into it, just like in this card. Because without the strength, divine masculine is not going to get through. Yeah, we see a lot of kind of like they're not facing up to something, or they're not getting through what they want to get through. Maybe you're involved in a relationship that that person has something to tell you. Do you ever feel like that? But they're not saying it to you. So automatically, my ego clicks in, and your mind starts to put stories in your head, and you start planting seeds. Well, it could be this, and it could be that, and maybe it's this, and maybe it's me. Then automatically you start to believe it. You start to go into it. I can't tell you how many people I talked to that everything was fine, previously in the previous readings that I do, and then working up to something, automatically ego kicks in. Ego is inside of all of us, but you have to be careful with ego, because all the stuff that we absorb, and when I say about absorbing, I don't mean because we go outside and we catch a cold, or we catch, germs, whatever, but we put on the TV, we put on the internet, we see all this toxic, negative news that this is happening in the world and this is happening. Oh gosh, this is, the weather. Oh my gosh, this is happening. That automatically plants fear. Don't let it get to you. Fear. You know what? Fear is a source of a lot of things. Fear is not a bad thing, because you should be afraid of some things. Yeah, you should be. It's not it's not necessarily bad. It's more of like being aware, and that's the way it should be. Not afraid to come out of what you're feeling, but more like not being afraid of being who you are. And that's where divine masculine takes the leap, that they don't want to express that part of themselves. So when you're involved with someone and you can see clearly that there is something seriously wrong because they're not expressing to you, or they're not opening, they're not showing you, they're not giving, or vice versa. Maybe it's you, like this could be also, whatever it falls for. You could be finding yourself in the divine masculine this week, and or this month, or because this month is about divine masculine, that you're not putting the strength into working through all of this stuff. Yeah, because guys, if you're putting yourself down in a sense and looking at what that other person is reflecting, not that they are negative, but we are a reflection. When we see somebody, when we're connected to somebody, we are a reflection with them, especially twin flames. We talk a lot about twin flames, and I try to pick out like different types of soul connections each week, because not everybody is going to be with their twin soul, twin flame, a certain type of connection that they have with someone, because they're being led to somebody that's ultimate, the divine soul partner. So you may be with someone who you feel is, very close to you, that maybe your divine partner is that person, or, that's how it works. You don't go into a relationship thinking, oh, this relationship is temporary till my twin ray comes in, or my twin flame, or whatever. Don't do that to yourself. Don't, because that automatically prevents you from doing the things that you need to do. So that's my advice to many of you who have been asking me, how do I find my twin flame? Like, that's not an actual question, because sometimes you don't, and I can't answer that really, because nobody can really answer it, because it's all about your life experience and who you're destined for. It's all above, it's all who you're meant to be with. Okay, so I just wanted to clear that, because I gotten a few inquiries this past week, and I hope that clarified a few things. So things that are happening currently is all basing itself to one thing: union. Now, it's not necessarily the kind of union you're looking at, okay, though it is beautiful. And this card is very beautiful, as you can see. Wow, look at the colors on that. Isn't that beautiful? Very beautiful card. And I'm looking at this card from the back, but I also could see from the okay, well, that was the front, this is the back. I got mixed up. But yeah, they're both very beautiful. So I just love looking at this card. As far as union goes, I gaze into them a lot, guys, because when I do that, the messages come through, and you should too. Gaze into if you have cards at home, even if they're just simple plain cards that just have wands, or spades, or clubs, or cups. It's a message. Okay, so union, as I was saying before I lose what I was getting, union represents coming together with inside yourself, not necessarily with that person just yet. Maybe you're with that person and you're not really together. Yeah, I've seen this happen so many times. People come together physically, but they're not really in union. Sadly, you can be in union with someone and not be connected to them physically too. So union is a big, big word. It's all about what is meant for you. So coming into union, the divine masculine is starting to change. Whoops, that's a card I just flew out of my hand. Is starting to change their tune on the way they feel about things. We've been seeing a stuck energy, and we've been seeing stagnant energy. Not that that's going to be a bad thing for the future with divine masculines coming into union, but it is part of it, because they're starting to change that. Yeah, not everybody sees it like that, but that's basically what it represents, because in order for union to happen, change has to happen first of all, because first you got your change and then the union. So it is intense. Everybody is different, like I said. So if you're separated with somebody and it's been like you feel a calling, like something's going to happen or something's about to happen, that's the change. Something is happening. Something is going on. You're feeling the union happening. Though physical timing and spiritual timing may be a little off, Okay. Time frames never are really like pinpoint, so that's something to understand. But knowing that it's happening will get you more excited, keeping your vibration lifted, especially when it comes to working on yourself. When you work on yourself, you're working simultaneously with with the universe and what is meant to happen and what you're trying to you're focused on. Try to get out more this week. Try to get out more so that the changes can happen, so the changes can start reflecting. That was like a text on my other phone. So I'm sorry if there's like little chimes you hear. I know a lot of you have been asking me, what are those little noises? I have several phones, 3 of them to be exact, working phones, and they do sometimes have little chimes. Anyways, I look at it as confirmation. Sometimes a little bell, little chime thingies going on. Yeah, so as I was saying, get out there this week. Try to get out to the point where you feel like embracing the energy instead of fighting the energy. Because we get kind of like that at this time of the year. For us in the north, or I should say in this hemisphere, northern hemisphere, we kind of get a little antsy. We get like, we want to go out there, but oh, it's too cold, or I don't just feel like it, because the sun is starting to build up, guys. I don't know about you all, but I notice a difference every morning with the sun. Even though it's freezing cold outside, it's pretty cold. I still go out there and I just embrace the sun. And I'll take pictures of it and I'll look at them because I love the sun. Because the sun, I feel like this new sun is a birth since winter solstice. Now, the divine feminines, we've been talking about them too, going through a transformation, going through a lot of changes. They are learning how to trust what they feel. This is a big factor when it comes to divine feminines coming into their own power, all right? So divine feminines, you too are feeling those energetic shifts. And it's not necessarily meaning that, oh, divine masculine is the only one that's getting it, and I'm just sitting here, feeling the emotional effects that's going on. No, it's all about what you take in. A lot of exciting things is going to happen this year. I know people are looking at it as what are those exciting things? Because I've been getting questions like that. And you know what? That's not really a question. It's more of like embrace it and, ponder it and accept it. Because when you call out and when you put that positive intention out, you're inviting positivity. When you start looking at it in a negative sense, you start to push away all those blessings, all those beautiful energies that could be coming towards you, kind of like the butterflies. The butterflies are around you, but if there's smoke and there's toxic air around, like from a factory, you're not going to see a butterfly. You're not going to see anything. You're not going to see no one around it because it's pushing it away. So when you're negative, when you're feeling negative, nobody's negative. Okay, let me get that straight. When you're feeling not so positive, you kind of like surround yourself with this negative smoke. This smoke that just smells horrible, and it doesn't clear because you're not allowing it to clear. And then you look at somebody else and they're positive, but they're not really that positive because they're just trying to do what, like I've been saying, just keeping their spirit uplifted. And you know what happens? It sheds a light because that person that has that negative feeling around them says, you know what, I want to be like that, but they have to choose to be that way. It's a sense of balance, because if they choose to let themselves be the person that they want to be and be positive and be happy in their life, choosing, that's a choice to be happy. It's all about balance, keeping your spirit balanced. Yes, we do go through emotions. Things happen. And I'm not telling you guys to just, oh, you should take it and be happy and smile. No, a lot of you know what happened to me last year. A lot of challenges. Not that I want anybody to take pity or anything, but I use myself as an example, just because I, kind of like went through it, and I feel like it's like an example for people, just to look at, because I feel like I was being, transformed in a sense, and it helped me a lot. So anyways, challenges with my health, I got through it. It was fine. Whatever happened, I felt that was a message. It was a strong calling. When you feel something telling you something, you need to follow through with it, whatever that is. If it's something to do with health, I always say, worst comes to worst, you go check it out. You wasted like an hour at the doctor's office. Simple as that. You got a yes, you got a no, you got tests done, and then because it's better to know than to always push it off. Like that's why I mentioned to everybody before, I was getting like this thing I had on my back for like several years, 3 or 4 years, and it was skin cancer. And I kept saying, I know this is something. And I kept getting this tugging feeling. I even showed my doctor. They said, oh, it's nothing. My family, some of them had skin cancer too. And, my father and my uncle. And, they said, oh, I don't think it's anything. I don't think so. But maybe you should check it out. But I was scared. So you know what? I didn't do it. Then something told me I need to check it out. So when I checked it out, that's when they confirmed it, because they didn't even want, the dermatologist didn't even want to do it. So my point is, you have to follow what your gut says, because trusting what your heart says, trusting what your feelings are, what your emotions are, you're going to get the confirmation. Okay. I didn't want to scare anybody and tell anybody. I'm sorry if I said something, to trigger anybody, but my point was, okay, sometimes I go on and I say things, but I say them for a reason. Okay. I say just pay attention to the signs, pay attention to what your intuition tells you, and the same thing with Bear. You guys know what happened to me with Bear. It was a challenge watching him suffer, but he was getting not better, but he was coping with it. But all of us were in kind of like, we know something's going to happen, and we were hurting. So my point is that it was his time, and we still miss him. We still love him, but we've grown from it. Now we know he's, over the Rainbow Bridge, and, we still miss him. We still love him. It was back in September when he passed. But it was something that had to happen, and we'll never forget him. But we have his daughter, and we have his wife, and we love them. We love them both dearly. So they helped us get it through, and we dream of him quite often lately. He comes to us in our dreams. So that's another story. I'm not going to go into it. It's going to make me cry. And you know what? That's the thing. Remembering whatever it was. Okay, doesn't have to be a specific situation or a person, but just remembering how you got through it. That's how I get through all of these things. So when you look at a person on the other side and saying that grass is greener, you don't know what's going on beyond all of that. Seriously. And it's not a time to, feel pity or feel negative or, compare, but it's more about like empowering yourself. That's why I say get out there and let it go. Release all the tension. Just release it. Find your true center. Find what your vibration wants right now, what you need. Your energy right now is telling you something. What is this card telling you? What is it inside of your life that you realize that you need to release? Have you been holding on to a specific situation and not letting it go, and maybe getting codependent on it because you feel like that's what you're supposed to do? Think it over. Think it over really hard, really good. Not that I'm saying a relationship is coming to an end. That's not what I'm saying at all. But if there is somebody that you're codependent on, and you've been with this person for X amount of years, and there's really no attachment there, but though you feel something for someone else, but though you don't know if this is the right thing, like there's a lot of ways you could look at this, and I'm not going to plant anything in no one's head. These are messages, and I'm not going into exactly what I'm not telling you what to do, in other words, but you know what I'm saying. Follow the signs, follow the messages. There's somebody that you feel for. I mean, I'm feeling like there's a message for this someone. There's someone out there that you feel like there's a direct connection there, but you're unsure of it. It's time to trust and love yourself. Stop blaming yourself. Whatever situation you are, maybe you're just scared, you're afraid, and you're not putting out the love that you need to put out for yourself in order to see what it is that you need to do to find your true happiness, guys. Because I'm telling you, every time you go through a challenge, when I say a challenge, yeah, it means, what do I do? What am I supposed to do? The smile is down. The smile is not like, oh, I'm so excited. The smile is deep thought and communicating with others and meditating and praying and putting all that energy into, I need to find a solution, or I don't know what to do. These are the words that you come up with, and you know what? It should never be that you're not allowed to feel this way, because it's perfectly normal. But you are love. You have the love inside of you. As soon as you acknowledge it, as soon as you find the love for yourself, you too can release it. That's what divine feminines are doing right now. Releasing the love, releasing what it is that they have, that they've been holding on to. Whatever they're holding on to, guys, you are holding on to, they are holding on to. Whoever it is that you see, the divine feminine inside of you, or they're the divine feminine, whatever the case is, it's time to release it. Make balance. Trust. Trust into what you feel inside, deep inside. Dig deep, dig deep. I always say dig deep because when you dig, you find. You know, kind of like when you see that, you know, like a treasure, you know, you dig, you dig, you dig. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at that. You know, you find that treasure, and that treasure is right here. It's the love. It's the best treasure that you can ever have in your life because you have the love. You have a light. When you start focusing on the treasure inside of you, that sacred treasure, that love will just keep shining. Okay, so divine masculine, you are going through a lot of deep purging. It looks like they are going through a lot of escaping from the fear, letting go of the fear. This is a good sign for divine masculines. Divine masculines are starting to release that and purging it away. Changes are up ahead for you guys. A divine masculine is starting to change, and they're starting to see what they need to see in order to come into what we all want, union. So divine masculine right now is more dominant. This is a good thing. 2020 is good for divine masculine because they're taking charge. Divine feminines are still there. Like I said, we're still going back from the divine feminine of 19 and starting over again. So it doesn't matter what you're feeling inside. It lives inside of all of us, on both sides. And you know what, your divine partner as well. So if there's someone you're searching for, that's another thing. I get a lot of people looking and searching for a divine partner or just a love interest. You need to just trust into what your heart is saying, because there is somebody for you. Don't give up. That's the one thing in order to find a partner, is don't give up. Because if you give up, it's hard to find that person, you know, and everybody has their own, you know, way of finding someone. And I'm not going to tell anybody or suggest anything, unless you ask me. I'll, you know, suggest what I know, but you do know what to do. You do know how. It's just you have to find it inside of you. So anyways, lots of messages coming through, very vivid. It looks like very beautiful as well. The cards look very, very strong. I love when I deal with the pull out the cards and they just come out so beautiful like this. And I hope it resonated with you. Take what resonates with you and just leave what doesn't. It doesn't necessarily mean that every reading is going to resonate with you. You may get like a message or two, or it just might be boom, spot on. That's what happens. That's the way it works. You know, it's not necessarily meant for the date that is listed on the bottom. You know, I'm filming this in January, but if you landed on it, obviously it was a message for you. I see videos all the time dated, you know, back 5 years ago. And I'm like, wow, this was a message for me, and it came to me 5 years ago. Seriously. And it just works out that way. So I do offer phone chat and email readings. If you'd like to get your own personalized reading, the links are down in the description area. Also, I have several blogs with articles about soulmates, twin flames, and I try to get out as much articles as I can. I have several blogs, like I said, and each of them I will post out an article. So if you're subscribed to my newsletter, you will get the latest post and also the latest video. So I advise you to subscribe to my newsletter. It's just weekly. I don't bombard anybody's email with emails, because I know how it feels. You know, I like to get it weekly. I get newsletters, and I usually do it on a Sunday, sometimes Monday, depending on my schedule. It's been a little crazy lately. So I just want to say to you all, thank you all so much for just, you know, reaching out to me. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. When I go on Instagram and Facebook, that's my fun. Seriously. I find it like, oh, good. Who am I going to talk to now? Well, let me see what I'm going to post. Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do this. I get all excited, and I want to do a live with, you know, with you guys too. I did the last live for New Year's Eve, with my husband, and it was a lot of fun. And I do sometimes with my sister Mary. You guys know, you see her all the time too, and it's fun. I just like to reach out to you guys, and if you want to reach out to me, please just, like, you know, come up and, you know, talk to me. I love it. So just thank you guys so much. You've been a blessing to me 2020, and I plan to do more, like I said. I just thank you all for subscribing, those new subscribers and followers. Like I said, it's an honor to be here for you guys. That's the best way I can put it. And I thank you for watching me, because I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't do this if one person was just watching me and really into what I'm saying here. I would do it. Like, that's how I feel. And I see I got more than one person. I'm ecstatically happy. So I'm excited every time I make a video. Okay. I think that's about it right now. I think that's it. Yeah. Okay. I just love talking. It's my Gemini moon. It's just that time of the year. I just get all excited. It's 2020. So until next time, God be with you all. Namaste.